Hey everyone, my name's Alyse. Welcome back to another video. Today, as some of you may or may not know, a ban list came out, and there's one card on that ban list that I genuinely do not think should have came back, but because it came back, it's the only reason why I'm streaming right now, making this video, anything, like, I just, but, this card, I don't know why it's here again. I don't know why it's here again, but it is here. So we gotta live with it. I don't know. So we're doing Striker, because obviously I have to do a Striker deck profile. Duh. It'd be weird if I didn't. But yeah, but I'm not here alone. So today we're gonna be joined by the one and only Shunping. Say hello, Shu.
What's up? Welcome to the lab. Oops, wait a second. Wrong channel today.
Oops.
Welcome. I'm today having a kind of collab session with Alyse talking about the Striker deck just because Engage is off list finally.
Yeah, so Shu, both of us have very different opinions about how we think this deck is going to exist. What's your opinion about it?
Honestly, I think it would just still be similar to like how it was without Engage. It's just gonna be like one of the better one in Rogue, and that's probably it. I don't think the Striker engine, even with like one Engage, is gonna be good enough to compete with the format.
Okay, I mean, I think it'll be enough because I think like Engage is enough of a powerhouse because it turns the deck into like being able to function as if it's like a best deck, being able to function or access all of its resources. That's why I think it's good. It doesn't have the same power level for sure, but I think with the power level of every other deck that currently exists right now, if we're thinking in the realm of like Drytron and Tri-Brigade being the best decks, I think it lets Striker be a force that exists right now. So I don't know, that's me personally, but because I think like those matchups aren't even bad. I think those are decent matchups, so I think that's gonna it's gonna help it climb, and I think the one Engage adds enough power function to it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. At least the deck is like, well, at least Striker as a deck now is like more playable to how it was actually designed before. It is one Engage with story is like a very interesting ratio that never existed in the history. So that's gonna be fun at least.
Yeah. All right, but I guess we can just get into it. I guess a couple things first before we get fully into it. So as I said, this is being recorded live on Twitch right now. The Twitch channel is a lot of fun. I have a lot of new viewers in the chat right now because we just got a few huge Farfa hosts. So you guys can say if you're enjoying it so far or not. But streaming's a lot of fun. You guys should check out my Twitch channel if you get the chance. It is always fun, always a good time. And then shout out to good old Ophidian Accessories. They have a lot of awesome stuff. You know, mats. They just released some dice. They're working on a bunch of other stuff right now. He even gave me a little sneak peek that they're going to be doing like Striker binder, deck box, like a ton of different Striker accessories. So they're 100% worth checking out. They're awesome. And like I said, use code Ophidian5 for 5% off your entire purchase there. And yeah, I guess we can just get into it. So first step, obviously, 3 Ray, duh. And then I play 2 Rose. I know we were saying before, this is kind of preference if you want to play 1 or 2. I think 2 is like the right number because you want to still be able to play the game effectively, and seeing Rose means you're still playing the game, and especially with Engage now, it's so much easier to just get into the game. So definitely seeing a Striker monster lets you just exist and play and attempt to win, which is I think one of the most important aspects for playing. So I don't know, how do you feel about 2 Rose, Shu, or just what Rose numbers should be?
Honestly, 1 or 2 are like pretty much both fine. I think it's at this point the number of rolls is more like a player preference. It's really not big difference. There's like really how many other things you need to throw into the deck, like for the like the hand trap non-engine parts. That's like probably gonna determine the end. That's probably gonna determine the number of rolls at the end.
Yeah. And also, I don't think I mentioned it or not, but this is also going second deck, so I think a slightly higher Rose count is good for going second with compared to going first. I think going second I think the flow of how this deck goes second is a lot better than going first with it. So I think if we had 3 Engage, we can contemplate going first, but I think without it, it still gets a little bit iffy. So trying to like break boards feels like the better route for me, so I do like 2 rows for that aspect. So
yeah, I feel like going first definitely is like possible with engage existing, but yeah, going second, well, at least the profile you're watching right now is today we are having a going second version.
yeah, I think there's a lot more you can do with it going second, but there's definitely a lot of strengths to it going first. I just like going second with this deck, so yeah. But then we got for hand traps 3 Ash, 3 Veiler. Play the Veiler since you know, we can effectively do the Halcyon access code, and Veiler's actually a decent card right now. Then for the last hand trap, it's Imperm. I think these are all pretty standard. I know Shu doesn't like Imperm in general, but I think it's like a good card still. But otherwise, these two I think are just like very standard now, very good, very solid. What hand traps? I know you said before you kind of wanted a different hand trap in this slot. What were the cards you were thinking of?
I think just because the Fad Drytron and even Shadowed Invoke gonna be more popular, I will probably still try to main Droll in the list and maybe decrease the number of either Imperm or Veiler. I mean, they pretty much function the same. And
yeah.
Not only Droll, Bell is also a possible choice due to the fact Bell does hits quite a decent amount of cards. It's every single Drytron that activates in the graveyard. It hits Nadir, it hits Invocation, it hits Revolt, and all of them are very impactful if it resolves, majority of the time at least.
Yeah, the only, like, I'm not opposed to those hand trap choices. The only one I kind of am is Droll, just because, like, one of the main aspects I always bring up with Striker is it's intended to break boards, but at the same time, like, Droll is a card where, like, you just make your opponent not play for a turn, but then because you can't build up a huge insane board in the same facet, it's harder for you to, like, do the back and forth that Droll promotes in a way, which isn't as good for Striker. Like, for example, you see top of my side deck, I'm playing Psycho Reader. I like that more against Drytron than Droll because you're removing resources from the game, and this is what, like, these hand traps kind of do, or, like, make it so they waste their resources as opposed to, like, just having them for later on, if that makes sense. So, like, that's why I don't mind Bell.
Yeah, I just think, well, it's probably, we have to wait until the format really settle a little bit to know the ratios.
Right, no, and I don't think you're, like, obviously I can't say you're wrong because you're Shu, and, like, I know, like, just from us, like, testing theorying throughout the years, like, we're definitely not wrong in, like, our ideals about the cards. It's just, like, yeah, it's just differing opinions, so. But that's it for the hand traps. And then play the 1 Pankratops. We're going second. Duh. Also, it's collector rare. Shout out to my girlfriend for getting me this as, like, a 1 month early birthday present. Yeah, collector Pankratops is so nice. But for the spells, 1 Engage. Duh. Duh. Duh.
Sure.
Then 3 Widow. Only 2 Shark, just because, like, it's decent against Drytron, but it's not good against Tri-Brigade. There's gonna be a lot more Tri-Brigade, and the hand trap, like, the rest of the deck list still plays pretty well against Drytron anyway, so Shark Cannon isn't the most necessary facet in the deck, so it's fine. Why not 3 Engage? True. But yeah. So I like 2 Shark Cannon, and then also 2 Afterburner. Again, just going second with this card is really nice to have it at 2, and, like, the spot removal is actually, like, pretty relevant, so I like it. Only 2 Area 0. Even though we did get Engage back, you still don't have the most usefulness out of it, so just 2 is, like, the perfect amount. And then 1 Multi-Roll, 1 Hornet Drone, 1 Eagle Booster, and 1 Hercules Base. Shu disagrees on Eagle and Hercules Base, but we really liked Eagle last format, especially because this format can get pretty grindy, and especially with, like, the hand traps existing in a grindier facet, I really like Eagle Booster. And then, like, I don't even mind putting back Engage off of Hercules Base and, like, cycling back your Kagaris now that they have, like, a lot more power aspect to them. So I don't mind it as much, and I think the 1 Hercules Base is perfectly fine.
Well, I personally, well, Eagle Booster, honestly, it's only a thing I think you'll ever need in the mirror, and I just don't think that will ever happen. Usually people will usually like if you want to dodge Veiler, there's race effect. You want to dodge Imperm, like well, Imperm is relatively easier to dodge as well. Your search there's so many ways to access engage. There's like either Kagari or Hayate Kagari or Shizuku. So if either of them gets stopped, you can naturally play into it. And as a going second, I just don't even think protecting a monster is like the priority to have. That's why I wouldn't even want to have Ego Booster. I think that card is absolutely unnecessary. And pretty much so does the Hercules base. There's like 3 Kagari, so pretty much your graveyard is just your second hand. And at that point, there's nothing you really need to put back into your deck to search again. It's not like we had only 1 Kagari. And if you get to grind to a situation where Hercules base is good because you're running out of Kagari, then the game usually doesn't last that long in how the format is right now. So I just don't think those 2 will be needed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're like inherently incorrect. It's just like the aspects of what you say are definitely true, and I think like Hercules base is one of the more cuttable cards. It's just the only reason why I'm advocating for Eagle is just through the because like Cody and I slightly tested the deck when we were just really bored of Yu-Gi-Oh for a minute, and it just ended up being a really good choice. And like I don't know, I know like just the I forget what the phrasing is, but like, you know, that sort of opinion basis isn't really like good for deck building, but yeah, I think it's still fine. But that's it for all the striker spells, at least. Nothing else you really need. Jamming's in the side, so that is perfectly fine. Oh yeah, Shu, is there anything you'd play instead of Herc and Eagle? I guess it'd just be other spell cards that we can get into later.
Probably just be like some other non-engine cards or just other cards in general. Just not striker cards.
So before we get into the rest of the spells, I guess I should denote this by saying I'm not playing any pot cards in the main deck. We were discussing about potentially playing 1 Prosperity. I just didn't deem it necessary enough. I think we'll be fine without it. And I don't want to play Desires in this deck to banish my 1 Engage. Now that we have a sense of stability for the deck, Desires isn't as necessary for what it provided before. So you're fine to function without Desires. So, yeah.
Honestly, I think Desire is still, like, possible. It's still acceptable.
It's acceptable, but I just don't think it's necessary.
Well, I mean, it does still feel one in the graveyard and draw 2 cards.
Right.
And besides the Engage itself, there's, like... Well, besides the 1 Engage and, honestly, 1 multi-roll, everything else is, like, banishable in the whole deck.
Yeah. No, I know. And, I'm only opposed to it from the Engage perspective, which you can definitely, like, change how you feel about that. But, like, yeah, that's just how I feel right now. So, then, for the rest of the spells, we got 3 Droplet. This card's insane, obviously. I played Double Tactic. I wanted to play 3, but we had to cut it for the Pank to fit in the main. Shu hates this card. I think the card still has a lot of good function, especially if we're going into, like, a Drytron and Tri-Brigade format. I think when you play into boards, this card has a lot of multifaceted uses that I really like for it, so I like it, but I know you just don't like the card, and yeah, it's there's nothing much to say about that.
No, I don't like the card. I think you just don't need to play it. There's other cards that's more like necessary. And even I do play the card in some lists, I will almost never play 3 of it for the fact this card is always like a bonus. It's not like something you need to start with. Therefore, drawing multiple of them is pretty devastating. And as a hard once per turn, like even the first copy is not guaranteed alive. And if you play 3, there's even a higher chance you draw at least 2 off. And that's just gonna hurt yourself quite bad. Like, if you open 2, there's even a chance you can't even force your opponent to activate any monster effects. So that's why 2 is enough, because that's to significantly decrease the number you join multiples.
The only thing is like, at the very least, like, a lot of the, like, since you're playing Striker and a lot of your cards, like, since you have, like, Area 0 multi-roll, which I know are, like, very slim numbers in this deck, it's still easy to get rid of, like, those spells that are hard ones per turns to, like... I know that's not the best way to look at a card when you're putting it in your deck. I'm just saying that's a way it can function, if you need it to. So, like, worst comes to worst, you can do that. But, anyways. Also playing 2 goods and the 1 Metal Fusion. I really like this. I think it's just, yeah, you can afford to play this again with Engage, and it just helps you generate a lot more advantage and do more stuff. So I personally like it. I think it's cuttable, but I think it's a nice addition to the deck that just does something for you. And then for the 3 basic 1-ofs, Rhoda, Terra, Upstart. Almost forgot to put this in my deck. Fun fact. You know, it was like, I had Pank and the 3rd Talents in my deck at first, but then I remembered I need to put in Terraforming. Oops. But that is it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. For the extra deck, it's pretty basic. 3 Kagari, 3 Shizuku, 3 Hayate. I really like having 3 Hayate, especially now, just because we have Engage. And, like, I know that doesn't matter for the start of the game to get into Engage, but I'm still operating in the mindset of being able to put it back with Hercules base, or, like, if one of your Hayates gets stopped, I think it just has, like, a lot of multifaceted uses, so I like it. And then, 1 Kaino, 1 Zeke. So that's it for the striker monsters. We can actually show what Shu's other choice would be in just 1 second, but
yeah,
we play the 1 Ningirsu just because it has so many applications, and it goes along with Shu's point of play the Hulk because we play the Celine and Access Code. So what Shu wanted to do was cut a Hayate to put in a Link Kuriboh, because then how can summon Valor to then make a Link Kuriboh to make Ningirsu?
Yeah, because like out of the entire extra deck, if you look at it, the only thing that has the least, it's like the least necessary is literally just the 3rd Hayate. There's not even that many things to mill. Like you can really think the first one probably gonna get you either Engage or get you enough spell for your Engage. Then the second one gonna do the thing that you didn't do is the first one. Then the 3rd one is really just unnecessary. Or it's probably just going to be your field spell target, which not even like needed at this point. So that's why I think cutting a 3rd Hayate is possible. And because of that, because doing that fits Link Kuriboh, you can go Fiber into level 1 Valor, then into Link Kuriboh, then into Ningirsu. Ningirsu, get rid of something that's annoying to deal, like Dragoon, for example. And then after that, use Ningirsu, for example, send you a field spell. Field spell, summon another Ray or Rose, that's still your access code. So that's like another way to get your things going.
I mean, Phoenix wouldn't be a bad option though, Danko, but it's really hard to justify the space. Like, the only thing would be like a Hayate, but I think you can get by without running Phoenix, honestly. But that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, the only other hand trap I play in the side is 3 Cycle Reader, just for Drytron. Like I said, I like this compared to Droll to help deal with that, and like I don't feel like I need Droll in the list really at all to like help deal with anything else. And I do have another card in, or a couple cards in my side deck that are really good for helping with going second, so I think just this is fine. Yeah, this card's insane against Drytron, so then for back removal, play 3 Cosmic, 1 Duster, 1 Jamming Waves, and then also play 3 Evenly. I wanted this as opposed to like something else, because like again, it's another multifaceted use card, and not to mention this, since everyone's also really playing like Anti-Spell and Order, this just helps you play with it. So like this is like good, and I like it. So yeah, like it just has a use against almost every deck. So I think this card's just really nice. If I could main deck it, I would, but I just can't justify the space right now, because even now there's other cards I'd still want in the main deck over Evenly, and I think in the side is just perfect. So yeah, so I like those. And then obviously we do have to play the Mystic Mine. I know it wasn't in the main deck. I think I still don't like it in the main deck, so it at least needs to be in the side deck. You could potentially main deck 1, but I just don't think it's absolutely needed, but I think it's needed to be in the list still in some facet. So this is where it is.
I feel it should be mained. It's like literally your win condition half of the time.
I don't know. I think we can find win cons otherwise. It just helps bolster it. But that's me. I don't know. Then the last card in the side deck is 1 Mind Control. Yeah, I think this card's really good to put in when you know that it's like a good deck to start taking stuff against. Like, I really like this for like taking Tri-Brigade stuff and then just like, yeah, I don't know. I think this card's kind of cool.
Taking Appaloosa's like secure a good amount of things at least.
Yeah, but yeah, that is gonna be it for the deck list. Like, this is like a work in progress, a beta version, just a lot of theory and whatnot. I think there's a lot you can explore with this deck, and there's a lot of different choices for sure. And like, this is just my perspective of what I think is like a good route to start with and a good way to enter the format with. But that can definitely change. Things can definitely get different. I think there's a lot to potentially explore with this, so I'm gonna be doing a lot with that. I don't know if it's gonna be the best deck yet. I think it's gonna be a very, very, very potent force in the meta, but that's we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But that's gonna be it for this. Thank you again, Shu, for hanging out and helping me with the deck. Anything else you'd like to say?
Pretty much. I'm also looking forward to the format. It's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, hopefully it, things feel a lot better this format. That's all I'm hoping for. But yeah, once again, as always, make sure you check out the Twitch stream. Make sure you guys sub, like the video, all that fun stuff. Check out my Discord, check out my Twitter, use my TGG player affiliate link down in the description. Check out my PO box, send me stuff if you want to send me stuff. And yeah, I think that's a bit about it. So thank you again, Shu. Thank you guys all for watching. We'll see you guys next time, and bye everybody.
Bye bye.